The quick tutorial on using the grid modeler tool. We're just going to make a sci-fi pistol here from a piece of concept art I found online. So I'm going to go ahead and import that by pressing Control or Shift A. And we're going to do image and we'll do reference right there. I can scale it up a little bit. Might be about that size there. All right, this is assuming you've already got the grid modeler plugin installed. So we're going to get started. I have a cube here, and the only thing that's on it is a mirror modifier on the, and it's across the x-axis and bisect on the x-axis, as well as having clipping on. All right, so let's select our face here, right-click, go Grid Modeler, and then if you Alt scroll up, you'll increase the size of the grid, and Control scroll down or up, it'll change the resolution. Resolution is really high there, we don't need it that high. All right, so we're going to just kind of start by tracing out pieces of this weapon. So I'm going to start with the handle here. So we'll start with this bottom piece. Doesn't have to be exact. Just go through and kind of trace it out. And then once you have that, you can press 3. And now you have just a face and extrude that and then merge together. And we can go back and kind of keep doing this. I think that's a little thick, so we'll bring it in a little bit. So GX on that face, thin it out. All right. Now we can actually click on our cube up here, press L when you're hovering it, and it'll select only that object. If you press delete, vertices, and now that cube is gone. That cube is just there to kind of get started with the grid modeling tool. Select this face, grid modeler, and we'll go here. Oh, if it doesn't extend past that, you can, again, Alt scroll wheel to make your grid bigger. And then I'm just going to kind of follow this handle up to about here, maybe a little bit higher. I'll go across like this. It doesn't have to be exact. There we go. And 3, mix your face again, shoot across. Now we have something that kind of resembles a handle. And we're just going to kind of keep doing this and grabbing these individual pieces. And then we can go through and kind of manipulate them to get them to look like what we want. All right, so I'm going to select here, grid modeler. And if you come on and you have this kind of angle, you can select a flat face like this top one. It looks like a straight line. If I control click that, it'll align the grid to that. Then Alt scroll wheel up, and now I have a straight line to work off of again. So here I will go up, around, maybe up to here, down. Just kind of keep working my way through these pieces. And if you run out of space, you can Alt scroll wheel to give you more room. And bring this back. There we go. Press 3, extrude it again. And it's okay that it's overlapping. We're going to make these things different thicknesses so you won't see any clipping. All right, click again. Grid modeler. Scroll wheel up with Alt. And let's grab this next piece. I'm going to leave this circular piece off for now. We'll make it with the circle tool later. Where am I at? Okay, there we go. Bring it over here, follow it down, down, down. There we go. 3 to make the face, extrude it again. Get most of our pieces here. Grid modeler, scale it up again. I'm going to make this whole like barrel assembly here. So I'm going to start, I'm going to say right here. There we go. 3, extrude. There we go. And we'll get this piece right here. Make the trigger guard. We'll make something up here for the front of the weapon. I'm not going to make this box. I'm going to make that, this, whatever this thing right here is later. So we'll start here, bring it down. I'll just say it's going to go out something like this. I'm not going to do the divots here. We have a tool we can use later to do that. This way. Oh no, I lost my line. All right, let's try that again. Start from here in the corner. Bring it down to about here. Try to line up. There we go. And then 3, E to extrude. All right, we're getting the good shape down here. Let's get this top piece. Again, these are just kind of general shapes. We don't have to get anything exact here. 3, E to extrude. All right, now we have the general shape of gun. I can get rid of this image. Makes it hard to see. I think it's a little too thin, so we'll actually just press A to select all, SX, to get this a little bit wider as a whole. There we go. All right, now keep that reference image up somewhere that you can see it and kind of work off of. All right, so first thing, I want to bring our handle in, so SX to, sorry, let's do GX to kind of bring it in a little bit here. Same thing with the trigger guard, I can go in a little bit farther than that. Get that here. I would say this piece looks like it comes out more. And this right here goes in. And this, I would say, goes in. Something like that. All right. Now we can start adding a bit more here. So like this top piece right here has divots in it. So what we can do is grid model on this and then kind of make the shapes of what we want to cut out. So let's say our cutout's going to be this big. Right click, go into selection mode, select your piece, and then press D and scroll wheel up. And you can select set how many pieces you want to be cut out of it. This one has, looks like 3 divots in there. So we'll just do something like this and then press Q to bite into it. And then if you have this option pop up down here, you can change the depth to completely cut it out. Up here, we can grid model on the top. Looks like we have a kind of little aiming piece pop up here. So I can select here, go across and press space to end my line, press 0, and now I've applied a kind of a loop cut to it. And I can extrude this up. And we can kind of scale this on the y-axis. Bring it forward a little bit maybe. And scale on the x-axis. Actually bring that down and then extrude it up again. On the y. Bring it forward on the Y. There we go. Got a little bit of a sight there. All right, we've got some extra geometry in here, so let's just go in here and kind of make something work. So go like that, bring it back, and then maybe another one over here, it looks like. Yeah, this one goes all the way down. So like there. And they look like they have slight bevels to them. So if we right click, highlight everything, press B, we can add bevels. So like that. Then right click to get out of there, press Q. We don't want to go all the way through, so we'll pull this back until we have kind of a nice little indentation there. Top part looks like it could be beveled. Something like that. There we go. Look a little better up there. All right, let's add. Looks like there is a cylinder that goes through the center of this. And then there's a cutout for it. So we'll go ahead and do that cutout. Select our face, right click grid modeler. All right, so it's kind of a beveled cutout in the center of this. So we'll start like right here, bring this across, bring it up, and then press B, or right click, select your shape, B, and something like that looks like it'll work. Press Q, and we want this to go all the way through because we're going to create a circle on this side. So right click grid modeler, scale up your grid model. Again, that is Alt scroll wheel. Press C to turn on your circle tool and get that center line there. Click, and then you can click release and then drag. If you set your circle edges to something like 20, you will get a good circle that has flat spots on the top and bottom there, so it'll be completely symmetrical. And then anything that's created on the other side, the bisect will pick it up and remove it. So if I click here now, that was a little too big. I don't think I want it that big. All right, so maybe like that. I can press E or press 3 to make the shape, extrude it out from this side. And let's go do like an inset on it. Extrude it out again. All right. Now if I go into wireframe mode, I can select that bottom face here. If I can get it. Here, we'll just bring it out. Now I can select that bottom face. And then if I just extrude that through here, looks like it's a bit bigger. So I can, we'll extrude it, and then extrude again and scale it up, and then extrude it through. There we go. Now L, G, Y, pull it into the mesh a little bit. There we go. We've got that big circle in there, and it looks like there's like some divots maybe. So what we can do there is kind of grab the other side of the circle here, if I can get a hold of it. Come on. Here, we'll just pull the whole thing out again. That's L to select. Pull it back a little bit. Grab this and G, Y. Looks like we just want to add, extrude it a little bit. Maybe add a little bit of this. There we go. Now select L. Pull it back in if there's enough. If not, we'll just extrude it a bit more. There we go. And then just G, Y, pull it out. There we go. That looks good. All right. Next on, it looks like we need something here. So to do that, we can just create our user grid modeler up here. I'm guessing that is the barrel that we're working with. So we'll create the barrel up here and then we'll move it down because we have a nice flat face here to work with. Again, select the center, C, shell shape, try to keep the X on the center line here. Let's say that's probably big enough. 3, extrude, hover over, press L. Let's go into our X face here. Oops. G, Y. Just G, let's do right about here. See how that looks. All right, let's extrude it some more. Or scale it out. Whoops. Or the face. GY. So that's gonna look something like that. We don't want to scale it on the y-axis, so we'll do Shift Y. Bring it up like this. Scale it down. Bring it on the z-axis. There we go. Looks pretty good. So we'll actually pull this back on the y-axis and do some extrusions, give it a little bit of that same geometry we gave on the round bit behind it. There we go. Now up to here, and then let's pull it back up just a little bit, and then we'll extrude it one more time to give the whole end a bevel. Something like that. Select that inside, extrude it in. Now we have our barrel. Now we can kind of keep adding a bit more to this kind of stuff up here. So I can grab a lot of these faces up here. This one, extrude it a little bit, scale it in a little bit, give a little bit of depth. Same thing with this one. And we'll do the same thing with the rest of these two. Get a bit more of a sci-fi look. All right, so we've got like an aim finder or something on this. So we'll press grid modeler, scale that up a little bit, grab like this, bring it across, maybe to about here, down like this. Something like that. And then we'll give it some bevels. So if we right click selection mode, select it, press B. Something like that, 3, and extrude it out. Extrude it again, scale that in a little bit. There we go. Looks like it has a little round piece coming off of it, so we'll go like this. C. And then 3, extrude that out a little bit. Maybe again, give it a bevel. Control B. Something like that. We've got some notches here, so we can grid model on here, and we'll just give it a line, something like that, and then press space to end the line. Right click to go in selection, select it, press I, and now you can add like an inset to it. That kind of gives it a bit more here. Now that we have what we want, we can scale our, get out of this, scale our group up a little bit more. Right click G to bring that back up to here. I'm going to put it on this corner here. And then we're going to press D to make more. And maybe there. And then Q. Don't need to go in that far. There we go. And actually, let's do that again down at the bottom. So make a line, space, right click, select it, I for inset. Make another one of these. And this one will actually hit R to rotate. And then D to duplicate. And we'll do like 3 or 4 across the bottom here. And then Q. And we made our cuts on the bottom side. Again, grid model on this piece. Let's add a circle here. 3, extrude it, Control B, add a nice bevel to it. Select the inside here, extrude that in. And then we can select one of these faces here. Actually, select this one. And let's crank our resolution up here. And we'll give it like a little selector switch. Like that. And then 3, extrude that out a little bit. I can apply a bezel to that a little bit. A bevel, there we go. And then I can click on it, L, and we can reposition it a little bit to kind of get it to look a bit better. Oops. There we go. Actually extrude this in a little bit here. All right. Now moving up here, let's add a nice hole here. Whoops. Let's make a square. Select it, V. Let's actually scale this up a bit. Try that again. Something like this. Select it, B. There we go. Scale it up a little bit. Right about here. Q. Change the depth. I want it to be a bit deeper than that. All right. Add some notching up here. Actually, let's see. Scale this whole piece out a little bit. So select it with L, X, SX. Bring that out about like that. We got a space here to fill. We can add a let's grid model, scale it up, or resolution a little bit. And we'll add a few circles here. Extrude that up a little bit. Let's select the whole thing and push it back down inside of the mesh a little bit. Grab the face, GX, and then we will bevel it. Extrude in, too far. Extrude in, I to inset. Back out, I to inset, extrude back in. Okay, and we'll select that, L, and we can, let's select our face up here so we can move easily along this. Like that. Bring those faces in the middle in. There we go. All right, so we can select this, and we could like duplicate it or something to add a little bit more, hide some of these gaps. There we go. There we go, that'll do. All right, let's start working on the handle a little bit. So we can select edges here. A little bit of bevel there. Same thing going on this side. Like that. Scale this out a little bit. All right, we need a trigger. Select right here to make our trigger. Three, extrude it in. Grab this face, bring it in. Grab these faces and bring them out a little bit. All right, something like that. I think we can grab our faces here and give a bevel to these. Round this trigger wheel a little bit. All right. Let's add a nice little indentation here. Oops. Q to make the indentation. Don't want to go all the way through, so we'll bring it about like there. Take this guy and this one, and Shift D and bring it up here too. Let's do that. Bring it into here. There we go. All right, we could add maybe another sight up here or something. Grab the top here. And at the back, actually, we'll do grid model, scale it up. And we could kind of bring something up like this. 3, maybe bring it across a little bit, extrude them a little bit. Oops, too far. Okay, GX, oops. L to select all, GY, I want to bring this up here. And then I'm going to select it, grid model, again, scale it way up. Select our center mark, C, we're going to make a circle, something like that. And then 3 to make a face. Extrude it to be the width of that. Maybe a little bit wider. Then we'll select this. I need to redo that. I didn't get my center very good on that one. Scale it up. Select our center line here. Oops, I'm going to press C. And it's not lining up very well, so what we can do is just increase our resolution here. Select our center line again. So something like that. Is that not centered? I am not doing good here. All right. Try this again. Right click, grid modeler. Expand that up. We have our center line. Let's see if we can get our resolution aligned with it. There we go. That lines up with the center. Bring a circle or something up here. Press C to make sure you got your circle selected. Bring it down, scale it. Looks like this will do right about here. 3 to give it a face. Extrude it out. Select it, LGZ. Bring it down into that. Let's scale it on the y-axis to make it a little bit thicker than the supporting rods there. Select the whole thing. Oops. GY. A little bit forward. Okay. Right click, grid modeler. Now we want to put another circle on the inside of this. So C, select the center, bring it up. And we'll do something like that. Then we'll do Q. And we'll scale that more through. Actually, select multiple faces here. What's wrong with this? Oh. Shift select 2 faces, grid modeler. Oops, I don't really do that. All right, well, we'll just go into wireframe mode and we'll move that down. There we go, something like that. Faces, right click, grid modeler. Select the center. Press C, select the center. Scale something up like that. Be sure to get your edges lined up. Then Q. All right, now we have kind of a sight here. It's a little big. So I can just L on both of them and scale it down a little bit. Press L on this, scale it on the Z-axis. Bring it down. There we go. Kind of have a site. We could put something in there later on. And that about does it for this. We can add a few more like little things like screws and things like that. But this is the gist of using Grid Modeler. There's a lot you can do with it very quickly. This whole gun only took us 30 minutes to make. A last good step to do would be to select the whole thing, do face, mesh, shading, smooth the faces, and then if you go into this 3 dots here, normals, auto smooth. So it'll only smooth whatever degree you want it to. So our rounded pieces are nice and smooth now, but the areas that we want to stay sharp are still sharp, and you don't have to worry about going through and manually marking seams or anything like that. All right, this was a quick tutorial. It wasn't too far in depth. There's a lot more we could do to this gun, obviously, but it gets you kind of to a good place of making a model that looks somewhat decent very, very rapidly. Kind of a bit more here to get a better look at it. And thanks for watching. If you have questions or if there's something else you want to see modeled in more of this tool, please comment and we can definitely make that happen. Thanks for watching.